Hi everyone, and welcome back to some more F1 2019 here on this channel. This is part number 2 of my career walkthrough. Now I hope you enjoyed the first episode. That was absolutely insane in the F2s, but now we step up a level because now we've got a race in an F1. Now if you watch the end of the episode, we signed with the Haas team, and now we've got to prove ourselves worthy of that team. So we've got to, first up, use our points because we can upgrade the car slightly. And so we're going to have a look at the performance, and hopefully we can get this car into a really good place and we can really start hitting some really decent positions. But I think the requirement is to qualify in 10th and finish in 10th. So that is our target. Got no idea how that's going to go. Now, I'm not very good around Australia. I remember racing around there back in 2015 when I did my last career walkthrough on an F1 game. But yeah, so I'm going to be using the driver lines on the corners just until we get used to it. But I think we can upgrade a few things in here. Some of the upgrades are very expensive, but I think we're going to upgrade the spark plugs. But once I've had some experience in the car, I will know what areas to focus on. So I'm just going to spend my points in the areas where I think I may need it in this first race. Aerodynamics, so I think aerodynamics is always very, very important, so let's see if we can upgrade that as well. And yeah, oh dear, some of these upgrades are going to be very expensive, so we'll go with that. And I don't think we've got enough points to do the halo. Oh, we can't, no, we haven't. Have we got enough to upgrade any other areas? No. God dear, this is gonna take a while to get up to maximum, and we're gonna struggle to compete with some of the top teams. But it's all about being consistent, and I think we can. Yeah, we can do the under tray, which is always good. So we'll go with that, and that is going to be our first upgrading for our first race. And I think we're definitely going to have to focus on durability as well. But like I said, I don't know what the car is going to handle like, what it's going to be like. So we're going to have to test it out. So let's get straight into the practice sessions. But I must admit, there is a lot of options to work out and learn. That's something we're going to have to do. And there's loads of information in here which is going to help you throughout your career. Oh, we've got rivals. Let's have a look at that.
A great way to earn respect from your team and around the paddock, which will help make it easier to negotiate favourable contracts. Your first rival is always your teammate, but you can choose who to declare as your second. The harder the rival from the eligible selection, the more respect you stand to gain or lose depending on the result.
Right, so I can select a second rival, so that's something that we may do once we get further into the career, but our teammate is our rival at first. Right, it's all about going into the first practice session. I might do some of the developments, get my car up to standard, earn some more points, and then hopefully we can qualify in a position where we're going to please the team. I think, like I said, 10th is the position we've got to aim for. And it looks like, ooh, there could be some rain for the race. Oh no, please not rain for my first race. But we'll just have to wait and see. So let's get straight into it. Really looking forward to this. Let's see if we can get a decent position. Well, according to the race director, I've got a penalty for that crash at the end of that last practice session. Well, that's not going to go down well. So we really need to get a good spot. We're still only sitting in 10th. And I'm going to try and push this car a little bit more. And yeah, this car definitely needs quite a few upgrades. And I am struggling, especially in the slow corners. And the braking as well. But these are all things that I'm going to have to sort of fight with early on in his career. Just try and get nice and tight in. But I must admit, I'm really enjoying racing on this game. The handling model is absolutely superb, I must admit. And it feels very, very good on the wheel that I've got now. And getting an F1 rim was definitely one of the best things I've ever done. And I'm loving it. At the moment, I keep seeming to get like black hands because I keep forgetting to put my racing gloves on, and the Alcantara grip on my F1 rim is still quite new, so it looks like I've been sticking my hands in ash. And let's try and hold it through these corners, all right onto the curb. trying to push it as hard as I can. And I don't think this is going to be miles better than our fastest lap. But I've got to improve somewhere. There's not much time left of this session. And it's just going to be straight into the race. And I think the race is going to be wet, if I remember rightly. So, it'll be my first experience in the wet conditions as well. So that is going to be very, very challenging. Right, final corner. That corner is so difficult. Just managed to take it as best I can. Look, final corner. Oh, that felt good. And where are we going to go? Are we going to better our position? And, we moved up to 9th. Well, that's a little bit better.
Qualifying finished. It's time to remind ourselves of our top three. Bottas, Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. With qualifying wrapped up, we now have our grid lineup for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race.
Right, so I qualified in 10th. But I will be moved down slightly with the penalty that I got in the practice session. But I'm just going to get straight into the race and battle for the best position possible. So here I go.
New drivers, new cars, it's a new Formula One season. But it's the same Albert Park that we've come to know and love for more than 2 decades now that plays host to round 1 of a 21-race championship that takes us from here in Australia across the globe and the eventual season finale at the Yas Island circuit in Abu Dhabi. We're a stone's throw from the enormous Port Phillip Bay for today's race at the 3.3-mile Albert Park circuit. It's a bumpy racing surface here, and the 16 corners could prove especially difficult in the wet conditions. Watch out for a safety car at some point during the Grand Prix. Once again, Anthony Davidson joins me for the race today, and it's a race where anything can happen as the rain is falling, grip and visibility is lacking. Could be something of a lottery out there, Ant.
Well, that's right. There's always an added element of unpredictability when there's standing water on the circuit. But one thing that might help them with the grip is a new softer compound full wet and intermediate tyre that Pirelli have developed for certain circuits. We'll be seeing these new tyres for the first time today, yet another unknown on an already unpredictable day.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Gasly, Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel, and Faber, Butler, Leclerc, Sainz, and Sergio Perez. Albon, Norris, Daniel Kvyat, Carlson. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Grosjean, Kubica, George Russell, and Kimi Raikkonen. Ricciardo and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Right, so here I go with the race, but that's first look at the strategy, and our team has decided to go for no stops, but it's going to rain, so I don't know how that's going to work, but I don't know whether they're going to decide midway through the race. But anyway, let's just get straight to it. We've got to trust their judgment. It's bloody raining, and we've got to try and get a good start. And it's all go! Our first race in F1. And oh my god, my vision, I can barely see anything. We've got to remember, we've got to slow down into this first corner. We don't want to get smashed into. We've gone down the inside. Oh, be careful. And we've just managed to get through there, just behind Norris. And we've got to try and get through without getting crunched. Oh, a bit of contact with Norris there, just a little bit of a tap. And let's just stay on the outside of him here into this next slow corner. And we're going to try and get in behind Albon. And we've managed to take Norris there. He didn't get through that corner very quick. And we're up to P12. So that isn't a bad start so far. Can we go down the side? Oh, just catching the boards there as we just went really tight through that corner. Right, let's just try and stay with these lot. I can't see a thing. Bloody hell, the wet conditions is extremely tough, especially when you're behind another car. Let's see if we can go around the outside. And oh, that is going to be a good move if we can make it behind Sainz. Let's just slow it down. and try and give him a bit of room, but no, we've just managed to make the pass and we're up to P11 and we're going to go down the inside. Can we take another position and get it behind Perez? Oh, this is a brilliant start to the Australian Grand Prix. They slow it down into this section. We've got to be careful because those curbs are flipping lethal in the wet, and that is not too bad, and we are in behind and we're up to 10th. So this is the position that I need to qualify, well, not qualify, finish in to satisfy the team. So we're really in a good position already, but there's a long way to go in this race and we've got to try and settle in and start setting a pace, and I'm pretty sure that Sainz behind us is not going to give up. He's going to try and get back past. He had a little bit more pace than me in the qualifying session and he's not going to let that go. So let's see if we can just hold it. And Bottas has just put in the fastest lap of the race. So let's see if we can start closing in on Perez into the second lap and start settling into a rhythm. Now there is a big chance that the race is going to dry up. I've got no idea when that's going to happen, so we've got to try and make these tyres last as long as possible until we get the indication to come in and maybe change those tyres. But I'm not sure whether we're going to have to run on these tyres the entire race because there was no option for that in the strategy. So let's see if we can just hold this position. And I've got to watch out for that rival we had in F2. Was it Devon Butler? I think he was ahead of us. I think he started in 7th in this race, so he was slightly quicker, and I think he's racing for the Renault team. So if we could beat him, that would be flipping amazing. So just put another reason for him to hate us even more after beating him in the F2 Championship. Right, just trying to hold it around that turn and really pushing his car, and we've managed to take Perez. He really took a slow line through there, so we had to take advantage of that, and it doesn't seem to be very good in the wet. Right. A purple sector on sector 2 for us, so we're definitely starting to push this car as much as we can, and I definitely feel like it needs a bit more on the aerodynamics. It's not the greatest through the slow corners, but it's doing okay, and I'm happy, I'm enjoying it, and I've got to get a decent position. If I could finish in this position now, I'd be extremely happy. Anything to an improvement to the starting position I had. I mean, although I qualified in 10th, I started in 14th, so we've already made up quite a few places already. So Hamilton's put in the fastest lap and he's at the front and he's probably going to be trying to get a win. So that's who we've got to aim for later in the career when we get a better car. If we can compete with Hamilton, then we know we're already there, but still we can't see anything, all the spray coming up from the other cars, and we're in behind. Look who's in front of us. I've only just realised. Devon Butler, wouldn't you know? Let's see if we can give him something to worry about, but he's got Leclerc in front of him and I can't see who's in front of Leclerc. It's really hard to see in these conditions, but let's see if we can stick with these three, and hopefully we can sort of use them to keep this pace so we can pull away from any cars trying to catch us up behind. But we're on lap 3 and I'm feeling very confident now, and I'm getting used to the circuits, and hopefully once we get a little bit more experience on all these circuits I don't know very well, that we will hopefully turn the lines off. And we've got a chance to get past Butler here. He went really slow for that last turn. We're going side by side. Oh, I don't think I can make it. No, back off. No, I wasn't going to risk it. We've got to remember there is damage on this game, so we don't want to ruin our car and have to come in and lose a lot of positions. So let's just try and work a way where we can put him under pressure, or maybe he might make a mistake. You never know. Right, let's keep it nice and tight through this section. And this final corner, I absolutely hate this final corner. And that wasn't too bad, but the tyres are feeling very, very good at the moment. And Hamilton's put in an even faster lap. So Hamilton looks like he is running away with this GP. And, well, he's got fresh air in front of him, so he probably hasn't got anyone giving him any trouble. So he can just settle into a nice, fast rhythm in that Mercedes, and he can pull away from F1. But I think he's got Vettel and his teammate and Bottas pushing him all the way. Right, let's see if we can just up this now. Now we've put it into a different mix. Oh God, dear. I just felt a little bit of a slide then. But I've got to remember I can't stay in rich mix for too long because I don't want to waste all my fuel. and cause myself any problems. I'm just going to listen to all the information that I get, and hopefully I'll make the right choices. And that is not too bad around there. Still trying to keep up with these three in front of us. They're having a right old battle, and look at them trying to battle with the Ferrari Leclerc. But I'm going to try and take Devon Butler, and I'm going to go in the inside. Oh, it's Webber, so it's the other F2 driver that we came against, so our former teammate. So, and let's just see if we can keep it nice and tight through there. Oh my god, oh, hit the curb. Oh, trying to carry as much speed through there, but these three are going to end up having a massive accident in a minute, and that could work in our favour. I might just hold back just for a couple more laps, but I am in the rich mix, so I've got to remember that I can push it if I can. If I get an opportunity to get past, I will, but it's really hard to pass three cars when they're so close. Let's just be careful on the brakes there. Don't want to run into the Renault of Devon Butler. You can imagine how upset he's going to be if I overtake him or put him out the race. Right, we've got a bit of slipstream here, but I can't see a damn thing behind him. And let's see if we can just line him up. I'm trying as hard as I can to up my pace, but it's really, really hard. And sometimes you have to be patient in F1. So let's see if we can take an opportunity. He definitely knows we're here. He's going to hold that position, so we'll just go on the outside through this corner, and Leclerc is back in front of Webber now, and that Ferrari will start pulling away from this group, I think. I'm surprised to see him this far back. Don't know whether he had a difficult start or whether he had a little bit of a collision with someone. They haven't given us any information of that, and I haven't heard of any cars retiring yet, so it looks like everyone is still out on the grid, out on the circuit, and doing really, really well. Right, slow it down, get nice and tight in. Let's see if we can get a bit of slipstream, and can we get past him here? We've tried this move a couple of times already and failed, and I don't think we're going to make it again. No, I'm just going to have to back off. I just don't have enough in my car. He's definitely got the edge over me in that Renault, and yeah, that's very interesting, because we had the opportunity to go with that team. That car seems to have a little bit more, but if he makes a mistake, I'll be all over him. Let's see if we can just hold it through there. I hate these last couple of corners, and we've just slowly dropped off the pace as well. I think our lap times have just dropped a little, and we're in the rich mix, so I might have to change that back in a minute. I don't want to completely cane all my fuel. It's not too bad around that turn. We're in the slipstream, so let's put it back to standard again. And everything else seems to be okay. And hopefully we don't... If our car breaks down, I'll be gutted. But that's always possible. Things can go wrong. It's not too bad through there. Oh, we're nice drive through there. Right, let's see if we can get past him again. And he's holding that inside line. He knows I'm looking for a way past. Just backing off, don't run into him. And we're on, what lap are we on? Lap 6. Oh, this race is going so quick. I'm so concentrated on trying to get past these three. I'm not even looking at the laps or the times. I'm literally completely consumed. Wow. Oh, I just took a little bit too much into there. Just managed to slam the brakes on and hold that. Right. This seems to be a good corner for us. We seem to get close to getting past him so many times through here, and oh, just touched wheels there, but I'm going up the inside. Can we clear him? Wow. And I think we're cleared. Yes, we've overtaken Devon Butler, and into this turn. Be careful in behind Webber, and don't lose it onto the curb. Wow, that was a bit of a risk, but we made the pass and we're up to P8. Wow, that is awesome. Right, now we need to settle back into another rhythm now and see if we can just keep up with Webber. And he is still trying to chase the Ferrari, but the French racer Leclerc is absolutely flying now. I think he's going to start pulling away. So let's just try and hold it around that turn. And that was nicely done. Can we overtake him on the straights? No, I don't think we're going to have the drive. Let's just see if we can just hold it. Right, slow it down. Oh, I think he made a bit of an error there. Wow, he just sort of locked up. And we've got past Webber and we're into P7. Oh, this is going absolutely amazing. Now we're in behind a Ferrari. Can you believe it? Can we actually beat a Ferrari? Right, so I'm just about to pit now. I think these tyres have completely had it, and I've selected the mediums. Hopefully that is the right compound to go with. And I was thinking to go with the softs, but I didn't get many laps on the softs, so I'm not sure whether they will last 5 laps and if I'm going to be able to push hard on them. So I'm going to go with the mediums because I did use the mediums. And hopefully no one else goes with the softs, otherwise I'm going to shoot myself in the foot. But I'm just playing safe. It's my first race, I'm still learning. So let's go with the mediums. Hopefully we can have a quick change here. And hopefully we don't lose too many places. And we're going to come back out behind the Ferrari and Leclerc. So that hasn't worked out too badly, but we've got to try and hold on to this position because everyone's going to be changing their tyres. And the times are going to be a lot quicker now. So let's come out. Can we push hard? Can we actually overtake a Ferrari? That would be actually... It would be insane. I'll probably have more chance to do it in the wet than I do the dry. But let's see if we can just get these tyres up to temperature. They're going to be a little bit loose. And we need to get the heat in them first. Scrub them a little bit. And let's see if we can catch up. I'm not sure what tyres the Ferrari went with. If he, like I said, if he's gone with the softs, then you'll see him just pull away now. But hopefully they will activate DRS very soon as well. And then we can really start drawing him in and hopefully gain another position. But if we finish in 7th, that would still be an amazing finish, considering we started 14th on the grid. That's 7 positions and it's 3 ahead of what our objective is. So all in all, it's not bad. Right, let's see. I think he's starting to just pull away, so we definitely don't have much of the pace that he has. I think he's gone with the softs. You know, it's just one of those learning curves. Maybe I should have gone with the softs, but it's done now, and we're just going to have to stick with it. And looking, well, we still got Devon Butler behind us. I think he's probably changed onto the softs as well. No, my luck, so he's going to start closing in on me. And Lewis Hamilton's just put in a faster lap. And that is our first lap on the mediums. And now let's see if we can just go a little bit harder on these. Hopefully they will feel a little bit more comfortable. And we need to try and go for the best lap times we can get all the way to the end. I still can go in the rich mix, and I might leave that until the last couple of laps. I'm just going to go for it. But let's get used to these tyres first. And it just feels like a completely different race now. From wet to dry in one race, it just throws you out a little bit because you know, in the wet I was being very careful. Now I can push it, but yeah, it just feels weird. Let's see if we can just pick up the pace, and he's definitely pulling away, which is you know, it's one of those things. We've still got a long way to go with our car development, so I can't expect too much, and I just got to be happy with what I've got so far. Right, so in the rich mix now, there's 2 laps to go. Can we actually finish in 7th position after starting 14th on the grid? It actually will feel like a victory. I've worked so hard for this, but we've got Devon Butler really pushing us hard behind us, and he's on the softs, I'm on the mediums, so I'm really struggling to keep pace and slow it down. No, we've overshot that corner. Don't let him pass, don't let him pass. Oh, we've let Devon Butler get past. Oh, what an absolute idiot I am. All I had to do is be defensive for 2 more laps. Now I'm going to have to really push as hard as I can. I don't want him to finish in front of us. He's literally going to be one of our rivals, and we will add him as a rival in the options because he has really caused me so many problems in this race. First I couldn't overtake him, and now the last couple of laps he's just put me under no end of pressure. Right, let's just be careful, trying to push it as much as I can into these turns, but we haven't got far to go, and I think he's just got too much pace. Oh, this is so frustrating. Final lap. We've got 1 more lap to go. Can we actually finish in front of Devon Butler? I don't think we can. We have closed the gap slightly, but not a lot. But this is the fastest I've been going the last few laps. I've really pushed hard, and we've got to try and keep this up. You never know, he might make a mistake. Again, just try and take as much through the corners, and starting to feel these mediums actually working now. They weren't the first couple of laps that we had them on, but now they are. And I think it's going to be too late. And I'm just going to try and take as much as I can through that turn. And we are closing in, but I think he's just got a little bit too much. Again, just trying to carry as much speed through those corners. And this has been a really, really good sector so far. And slow it down. And we've actually got a purple sector in sector 2. So we've really had a good sector onto the curb there. And we are closing in, but I don't think we've got enough to overtake him before the end of the race. Oh, this is so frustrating. And Lewis Hamilton has just put in a fastest lap and he's won the race. So there you go, Lewis Hamilton wins the first race of the season in Australia. And it looks like we're going to finish in 8th position behind Devon Butler, which is so frustrating. Considering I called him a twat in the last episode, I think he's going to call me a twat for making that mistake. But there you go. It swings in roundabouts, doesn't it? So there you go, we finish in 8th.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it. So, let's review the drivers' standings. Lewis Hamilton takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after an excellent result. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Well, Crofty, Daniel Ricciardo would have to be my driver of the day. It's less about what he did right, but how little he did wrong. Perfect driving.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Mercedes moved to the top of the table. Well, that was certainly an incredible weekend of racing. Be sure to join myself and Ant for more exciting Formula One action soon.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. Not a good race for Lucas. How do you think he'll be feeling about not finishing?
I think he'll take it in his stride.
You and Devon weren't far apart by the end of the race. How evenly matched?
He's a skilled driver, but he doesn't have my team and my car. Yep, let's keep the team happy.
You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you?
I think it was great. The car was sticking to the track. Yeah, let's keep the aero department. Hopefully they'll give me a few free upgrades. It changed strategies for sure.
Great. Well, that's everything.
It definitely was an interesting race. I suppose if you look at the results, we actually had a faster lap than Devon Butler. We started in 14th, we finished 8th. He started in 7th and finished 7th. So it was a really, really good race and we showed massive progress already. So I'm going to take that into the next race and hopefully we can do a little bit better. But let's see how many points that we required and how many more points we can spend on our lovely vehicle. So let's have a look. Right, so this is the results of the rivalry, so the breakdown. So we actually came out on top, so that is always good. And that's going to be extra points in the bag towards spending on our vehicle. Woohoo! Top man in the team. That's what we are. He's going to have to learn from me. And I can give him tips. I'm only joking. And we've got, 808 points. And we've pleased our team. So overall, a really, really good first race in Formula One.
That's a great result. You did really well. I don't think we can have any complaints with that performance.
You're not the only driver to be handed by the press. Emails, like the one I've just sent you, will give you an insight on how your former Formula 2 rivals are handling the press. Be sure to check your emails regularly, as I'll be sure to send you any of the more, let's say, interesting press transcripts that come my way. Looks like one of your rivals is also going to an upcoming historical event. If you choose to take him on, it might help get your name out there a bit.
Right, that brings us to the end of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please smash the like button, share the video, subscribe, and we will be starting the next episode with that challenge against our rival.